Don't type it.
Was it more?
So set up there, no polygon. Got it. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. We will hear words of Torah shared by Bat Mitzvah Clara Stern. But first, please rise and turn to page 10 for Birchot HaShachar, the morning blessings, found on page 10. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan l'sich vivin alevchem ben yom uvein laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani betzalmo. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani ben chorin. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrihim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kfufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rokah haaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasali kol tzarki. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamechim mitzadei gaver. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael bigvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam anoten li'av koach. Baruch atah Adonai melech haolam perishin aminos ramafapai v'yiratzon melfanech Adonai melech Uchneno hayom u'chol yom l'cheinu l'chesed rachamim b'nechem u'v'nei korainu v'timu le'nu chasadim tovim Baruch atah Adonai gomel chasadim tovim le'amo Yisrael. You may be seated. We're on page 12. Yiratzon melfanech Adonai le'avdei. לעולם יהיה אדם רשע, מים בסתר וגלוי המודה, על האמת ודור, אמה בלבו בישכם יאמר, ריבון כל המיל זה כנראה. חיים הגבורתנו, מה נאמר לפניך אדוני אלוהינו ולעבדנו. אשרינו מה טוב חלקנו, מה נעים גורלנו, מה יפה ירושתנו, אשרינו שאנחנו משכימים מעריבים, ערב הבוקר ואומרים פעמיים בכל יום, שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד, ברוך שם לעולם ועד. קדש את שמך, מקדישי שמך, וקדש את שמך בעולמך, בישועך תרים ותגביה קרננו, ברוך אתה אדוני, וקדש את שמך ברבים. אתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו בשמיים בארץ, ושמיים לבדך ולכל ממלכות הארץ אתה עשית שמיים. פעם אחת ירבן יוחנן בן זכאי. Between pages 16 and 18, choose your own text that you'd like to study. I'm looking at number 4 today. אמר רבי חמא ברבי חנינא, מאי דכתיב אחרי אדוני אלוהיכם תלכו? וכי אפשר לא לאדם להלוך אחר שכינה, אלא להלוך אחר מידותיו של הקדוש ברוך הוא, מה הוא מלביש ערומים, אף אתה הלבש ערומים, הקדוש ברוך הוא ביקר חוטים. שלך מידון לכם גמילות חסידים תכתיב, וישנו ככה, סוף גמילות חסידים תכתיב בי, יהי רצון מלפניך אדוני אלוהינו ולאבותינו שתיתן חלקנו בתורתך ונהיה מתלמידיו של אהרון הכהן אוהב שלום ורודף שלום אוהב את הבריות ומקרבן לתורה. קדיש דרבנן, page 20. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. על ישראל ועל רבנן ועל תלמידיהון ועל כל תלמידי תלמידיהון ועל כל מן דעסקין באורייתא Di v'atra haden v'di b'chol atar v'atar. Yehe lahon ulchon shlam araba. China v'chista v'rachamin. V'chayin arichin u'mezona revicha. Or for kana min kodam avuhon di v'shmaya v'imru. Amen. Yehe shlam araba min shemaya. V'chaim tovim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu b'rachamav yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. We turn to page 32 for the Psalm for Shabbat. And you can take a seat. Hayom Yom Shabbat Kodesh Ba'yu Levim Amrim B'Beit HaMikdash Mizmor Shir Le'yom HaShabbat Toledot Adonai L'Zamer Shimcha Le'yona Giba B'Char HaSechim Shaveli Navel Alega Yom Yechinor Kitzim Achtani L'Nei B'Fo Alechem Aseh Yadecha Aranei Magod L'Ban Sech Aranei Marodon Pifrach V'Shayim Kumo Esev V'Yatzitu Kobel Yavin L'Shmid HaMadiyah V'Vecha Yovedu Yid Paradu Koin Tabet Aini Meshurim Kanim Alay Marim Tishmaina Ozni Tzadika Tamri Frachli Arzabamoni Yiskej Lim Yetanay Machadalim Yafrichu Od Yenuvim Beseva Deshenim Ranim Yeyu Lagi Ki Ashar Adonai Tzuri V'Lo Avlata Boho. Psalm 30, page 50. Mizmor Shir Chanukah Tabai Lezavihi Larmim Charanai Ki Dilatani V'Latzimachti Olivela Nanay Lachem Shir Zam Lanai Chazira Beldula Zercha Koshoki Regabe Afo Chaim Berton Nobel Marti Bishal Balamat Leolam Anay Berton Chaim Altaler Yosi Tarpanach Ed Naval Lecharnay Kravel Adonai Chanama Bipsam Shmar Mechane Azanay of Khizni Hafachtem Ispadil Machuli Pitachtasaki Vitaz Reni Simcha Lemani Zamercha Chavobal Yudom Adonai Elohai Leolam Odeka Kadish Yatom, page 52. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah. Ve'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye d'chol Beit Yisrael. V'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olomei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'itadar, v'itale, v'italal, shemei dekudsha, brichu, le'ela, min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehe shlam araba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. We rise and turn to page 54, beginning of Psukei de Zimra, Baruch She'amar.
Baruch She'amar v'haya olam. Baruch Hu, Baruch Oseh v'reshit. Baruch Omer v'oseh. Baruch Gozerun Kayem. Baruch Merachem Ma'aves. Baruch Merachem Abriot. Baruch Meshalem Sachar Tov V'Re'av. Baruch Chayrak V'Kayam V'Lad V'Tzad. Baruch Podei U'Matzil. Baruch Shemo Yai Rai 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 Yai Rai 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 Yai Rai Rai Yai Rai Rai Yai Rai 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 Yai Rai Rai Yai Rai 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 Yachid Ha'olamim Melech Meshuvach M'Poah Adei Shemo HaGadol Baruch Atah Adonai Melech Mechulal Batishpachro.
We remain standing and flip to 72 for Hodu.
Ya rai 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 rai. Ya rai 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 ya rai rai.
Be seated and turn ahead to Ashrei, page 80. Tilat Adonai deber piv yirekel basar shem kol sholei olam va'ed va'nachnu v'arachem etzav yad olam. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Psalm 150, page 88.
Hallelujah. 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 Shofar, hallelujah, b'nei v'vechinor, hallelujah. Shema. Hallelujah, b'tzivtzvei tefillah, kol anshe ma'ateh hallelujah, kol anshe ma'ateh hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
Baruch Adonai Le'olam Amen ve'Amen. Baruch Adonai Mitzion Shochen Yerushalayim. Hallelujah. Baruch Adonai Elohim Lohei Yisrael. Oseni Flo Levato. Baruch Shem Kodo Le'olam Yemelech Kodo Kol Haaretz. Amen ve'Amen. We're on page 90, the second paragraph. Please rise. Ve'varech David et Adonai Le'nei Kol Kal V'yomer David. Baruch Atah Adonai Elohei Yisrael v'Yimel. Atahu Adonai ha-Elohim asher b'charta be'Avram ve'hotzei tomar kasim v'samta shmar Abraham umatzate levavon eman lefanecha v'charoti ma'abrit letadar taknani achiti amriyah. V'hayam ba'kata livnehem ve'avru b'toch hayam ve'abashavet rodfem ishlachta b'yitzol ko'evim b'mayim azihim v'yosha Adonai b'yom ahu Yisrael miyad Mitzrayim v'yar Yisrael et Mitzrayim metal svat hayam v'yar Yisrael et hayad hagdola asher asa Adonai b'Mitzrayim v'yiru ha'am et Adonai v'yaminu b'Adonai u'Moshe avdo. Az Yashir, page 92.
Az Yashir Moshe u'vnei Yisrael et hashira hazot l'Adonai v'yomu lemor ashira l'Adonai ki ga'oga sus ve'rochevo amavaya ozi ve'zimrat yavayi li'yeshua ozi ve'zimrat yavayi li'yeshua ozi 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 לעולם ועד.
Ki l'Adonai mlucha Moshe v'goyim ba'alu Moshim B'hartzion lishpot et ha'aretz v'hayta l'Adonai mlucha v'haya Adonai l'melech kol ha'aretz b'yom ha'hu Adonai echad u'shemo echad. You take a seat and turn ahead to page 334. Nishmat kol chai tevrech shimcha Adonai Eloheinu v'roch
נשמע כל חי תברך את שמך
Ruach
habasar. אילוף אינו מלא שיר הקיים ושנים
Nehalel chanu shebechacha unfarach and varach Hashem kodshacha kamor LaDavid barchi nafshi et Adonai b'chol kravai et Shem kodsho ha'el b'tatzmot uzecha gadol b'chod shemecha ha'gibor l'netzach v'ano rabban oratecha ha'melech ha'yoshev al kisei ram v'nisaha.
Yasher Koach, Rabbi Kevin Karp Lefkowitz.
Thank you, Kader Dale Guy Shimshon Schatz.
Well, thank you. Who's this lovely witness we have up here?
Well, we've got up here the Bat Mitzvah Clara Stern, who, and I'm going to say a couple words right now, will be
Are you telling me
us.
to, should I sit down?
You can stand up. And the clock will keep me short. Clara will begin the formal part of our service, Shachrit service, on page 340. She'll call us to prayer with the Baruch Hu. She will also lead us in the Shema. We're not going to get there just yet. I'm giving an introduction because we're at the transition between Psukei de Zimra and Shachrit. Psukei de Zimra is something that we can do by ourselves. Shachrit is something we need to do in a community with a minyan. It's also a time when we get really serious about prayer. So I'm not going to call page numbers. I don't talk during this period, during the Shachrit service, between the Baruch Hu and the Amidah. I'm telling you this now because I'm going to give you the high points, the pages to remember for us. And I also will turn the page like this, so you can see me turning the page without calling it out. So right now we're on page 336. This is the transition point between Psukei and Shachrit. You'll notice the nusach, the tune that Kanner is going to be singing is a little bit different. It's the Shachrit tune, the Shachrit nusach. When we get to page 338, Yishtabach, I'm going to ask you to rise. That's the last thing I'm going to say for a little bit. We'll have a Chatzi Kaddish dividing Psukei de Zimra, that preparation, and the Shachrit service. I'll give a little signal for Clara to come up and lead us in the Baruch Hu. Once she leads us in the Baruch Hu, you'll notice she's going to go sit down. That's the signal for us to all sit down. When you see her come up to stand up again, she'll be leading the Shema. That's your cue. If you haven't been following along with the page turning that I'm going to be doing, that'll be on 346. With that, page 336, we're at Shochenad.
So when she stands up to say the Shema, do we stand up too?
We do not.
We don't. We stay
We do not.
seated.
We stay seated during the Shema. Yes.
My goodness, there's a lot to this.
There is a lot. We're going to stay seated until I tell you to stand.
I'm going to have to bone up. All right. Shochenad marom vekadosh shemo Yechatu ranenu tzadikim ba'Adonai liyesharim na'avat tehila Befi yesharim titala Uvidvrei tzadikim titbarach Uvilshon chasidim titromam Uvekeret kedoshim Kadash, ובמקלות רבבות עמך בית ישראל, ברינה יתפאר שמך מלכנו בכל דור ודור, שכן חובתנו יצורים לפניך אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו להודות להלל לשבח לפאר לרומם להדר לברך להלל ולקלס הכל דברי שירו ותשבחות דוד בן ישי עבדך משיחך.
Please rise for Yishtabach.
ישתבח שמך למלכנו האל המלך הגדול והקדוש בשמיים ובארץ כי לך מלכות ברכות והודאות מעתה ועד עולם ברוך אתה אדוני אל מלך גדול בתשבחות אל ההודאות אדון הנפלאות הבוחר בשירי זמרה מלכי העולמים יתקדע ויקדש שמי רבה ויאמר דברי חיותי וימלוך מלכותי בחייכון וביום מכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי דקודשה בריחו לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן ביומה ואמרו אמן.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam voed.
Baruch Baruch hu Adonai hamvorach leolam vaed.
Baruch leolam
voed. הכל יודוך והכל ישבחוך והכל יאמרו אין קדוש כאדוני הכל יאמר אין כרכך ואין זולתך וספילתך ומדומה לך אין כרכך אדוני אלוהינו בעולם הזה ואין זולתך מלכנו לך העולם הבא אפס פילתך גואלנו לימות המשיח ואין דומה לך מושיענו לתחיית המתים אל אדום על כל המעשים ברוך ומבורך בפיו לשמה גודלו וטובו מלא עולם דעת ותבונה סובבים אותו המתגאה על חיות הקודש ונדע בכבוד על המחווה זכות ומישור לפני כיסו חסד ורחמים לפני כבודו טובים מאורות שבא אלוהינו יצרם בדעת בבינה ובהשכל כוח וגבורה נתן בהם להיות מושלים בקרב תבל מלאים זיו ומפיקים לו גנאי זיום בכל העולם שמחים בצאתם בששים בבואם עושים בהם הרצון קונם וכבוד נותנים לשמור צוער ורינה לזכר מלכותו קהל השמש ויזרחו ראה והתקין צורת הלבנה שבח נותנים לו כל צבע מרום תפארת וגדולה שרפים באופנים בחיות הקודש ידדדדאי 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 ליל ששווה מכל המעשים ביום יום השבת זה תתברך צורנו מקינו וגואלנו בורא קדושים וכולם פותחים את פיכם בקדושה וטוהרה בשירה ובזמרה ומברכים ומשבחים ופארים ומעריצים ומקדישים וממליכים את שלום על המלך להקדיש לרוצם בנחת רוח בספת ברורה ובנימה קדושה כולם כאחד עונים ואומרים ביראה קדוש 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 אדוני צבאו מלוכו הארץ כבודו והאופנים וחרות הקדוש ורעש גדול מתנשאים לעומת שרפים לעומתם משבחים ואומרים ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו ליל ברוך נמות ייתן למלך חדשות אור חדש על ציון תאיר ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאור ברוך אתה שבטחו בך אבינו מלכנו ותן לנו כחיים כן תכוננו תלמדנו אבינו הרחמן המרחם רחם עלינו ונשמחה בשבועתך והביאנו לשלום לנו לשמך הגדול סלע באמת להודות לך ולייחדך באהבה ברוך אתה
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Baruch Shem Yevon Makoto Le'olam Voed. Yahavta et Adonai Eloheinu v'yirchol levav shelo yachli b'yad shelo yifetzah yomi alav v'levesam v'levtev lektav tev shelo yasher tev yisharei chavayim shmo tishmo v'samtem et devrei Elohim Yomer Adonai lo Moshe limo daber el b'nei Yisrael. למען תזכרו ועשיתם מקום מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת ויציב ונכון וקיים וישר ונאמן ואהוב ואביב ונחמד לדור ודור הוא קיים ושמו קיים וכיסו נכון ומלכותו לאמונתו עד ליד קיימת. I'm in the second paragraph on page 350. אמת שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו מלכנו מלך אבותינו גואלנו גואל אבותינו יוצרנו צור ישועתנו פודנו מצילנו מעולם שמך אין אלוהים זולתך עזרת אבותינו אין לנו מלך העולם נתתו ידידים זרות שירה ותשפחות תהילות ליל עליון ברוך ומבורך משה ומרים ובני ישראל לך ענו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם כמוך בונים אדוני מי כמוך נדע בקודש נורא תגילות עושה פלא נורא תגילות עושה פלא שירה חדשה שירי חירות לשמחה החטאיה zu Yisrael, Kuma be'ezrat Yisrael, Uftechni umecha Yehuda ve'Yisrael, Go aleinu Adonai Tzevaot Shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch Ata Adonai, Gal Yisrael. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot U'Mevi Goel Livnei V'Nehem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Ufoked U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch Ata Adonai Magen Avraham Ufoked Sarah Ata Gibor Leolam Adonai Mechaye Metim Ata Rav Leoshia Mechakel Chaim Bechesed Mechaye Metim Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verofe Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot Umidor Melach Melech Memit Umechaye Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman Ata le'achayot metim Baruch Ata Adonai Mechaye HaMetim לקדש את שמך בעולם כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום ככתוב על יד נביאך וקרא זה על זה ואמר קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלוך הארץ כבודו אז בקורש גדול אדיר וחזק משמיעים קול מתנשאים לעומת שרפים לעומתם ברוך יאמרו ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו ממקומך מלכנו תופיע ותמלוך עלינו כי מחכים אנחנו לך מתי תמלוך בציון בקרוב בימינו לעולם ועד תשכון תתגדל ותתקדש בתוך ירושלים עירך לדור ודור ולנצח ולנצח נצחים ועינינו תראינה מלכותך כדבר אמור בשירי עוזך על ידי דוד משיח צדקך ימלוך אדוני לעולם אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור הללויה לדור ודור לדור ודור לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך, קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לא ימוש לעולם ועד. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, כי המלך גדול, גדול וקדוש, גדול וקדוש אתה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. ישמח בשם Please continue your Amidah, or you may join me on page 392 for the marker that sends us, that introduces the Torah service, Kaddish Shalem, page 392. Yikdav yikdash shmei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yamad divrach yutei v'yamlech malchutei b'chaychon v'yamechon v'chay d'chol b'yishlav v'glav v'zaman kariv v'yimeru.
Amen.
Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lo me'omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yitma v'yitnaseh v'yitadav v'yitelev v'yitelal shmei d'kudisha. Brichu le'elam in kol birchata v'shiratat v'shchatam nechemat d'amiran b'yalma v'yimeru. Amen. Sevatot on the world on the Yisrael on the Vavandi Vishmai Vimru. Amen. Yeheshlam Rabba Mishmai V'chaim Aleinu V'Yakol Yisrael Vimru. Amen. Osei Shalom Vimru Mavu Yasei Shalom Aleinu V'Yakol Yisrael Vimru. Amen.
Page 394, Ein Kamocha.
אין כמוך בו אלוהים אדוני ואין כמעשיך מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים וממשלתך בכל דור ודור אדוני מלך אדוני מלך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום אהבה רחמים היטיבה ברצונך את ציון תבנה חומות ירושלים תבנה חומות ירושלים כי לך לבד בטחנו מלך עולם ונישא אדון עולמי
Rise as the ark is opened.
ויצא אהרון ויאמר משה קומה אדוני ויפוצו אויביך ויטוסו משעריך מפניך כי מציון תצא תורה כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני מירושלים ברוך שנתן תורה תורה ברוך שנתן תורה תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו.
At the box on page 398.
בענרחץ וליש בקדישה קדישה יקירה הנעמה תושבחה בענרחץ בענרחץ וליש בקדישה קדישה יקירה הנעמה תושבחה
When we take the Torah out, the words that we say remind us of what happened at Sinai. And what an incredible tradition it is that we literally pass the Torah that we received at Sinai from generation to generation, noticing what we've ourselves contributed to Jewish life, to Yiddishkeit, ending up with Bat Mitzvah. Clara will hold the Torah, declare the Shema, our declaration of faith, having received it from her parents and from her grandparents. Clara and Roger, would you like to?
Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Mo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. ונרומם השמו יחדיו. אדוני
הגדולה והגבורה והצדק והנצח וההוד יבוא בשמיים ובארץ יבוא בשמיים ובארץ בך אדוני להקודשו מקדוש קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממנו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחווינו להקודשו רוממנו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחווינו להקודשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממנו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממנו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחווינו להקודשו רוממנו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחווינו
The Torah is no longer moving. You may be seated. Thank you. What's that? Yeah. Amen. And I'll call up the page in a second. In the meantime, today's Torah reading is Parshat Naso. It begins with Bamidbar chapter 4, verse 21, and can be found in the Eitz Chaim on page 791. In the Eitz Chaim 791 in the Big Red Book. Naso begins with the census of the Levites and concludes with the dedication of each tribe, what they brought to the Mishkan. So initially, we might see the Mishkan, the tabernacle, as entirely the domain of the Levites, the Leviim. But by the end, we learn just how much it means to all of the Israelites. We might create different roles in how we connect to God, but it doesn't mean that we don't have our own individual connection. As we stand in celebration of, or sit in celebration of Clara becoming a bat mitzvah, we remember the role that everyone has in the community and the unique ways that we ourselves connect to Judaism. Parshat Naso, page 791.
Baruch stand there. Hashem, Kohanim.
You don't need to read.
Touch the Torah. Touch the Torah. Hashem imachem. ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
ברוך אדוני מבורך לעולם ועד.
ברוך אדוני אלוהים לעולם ועד. ברוך את אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר ערך בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך את אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
אמן. וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור, נשא את ראש בני גרשון גמכם לבית אבותם למשפחותם מבין 30 שנה ומעלה ועד בין 50 שנה תפקוד אותם כל הבא לסבוא סבא לעבוד עבודה באוחר מועד. זאת עבודת משפחות הגרשוני לעבוד ולמסר.
אמת תורתנו הקדושה, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורתו תורתה, האמיש וחיי העולם נתן בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
אמן.
יעמדו, מתעכב כאן בין תחומי הערבי, Israel by the blood of the Hani said not the high.
The second verse is, the second aliyah is verses 25 to 28.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
אמן. ונשאו את יריעות המשכן ואת אוכל מועד, מכסה ומכסה חתכס אשר עליו מלמעלה, ואת מסך פתח אוכל מועד, ואת כלאי חצר, ואת מסך פתח שער חצר אשר על המשכן ועל המזבח סביב, ואת מטריכם ואת כל כלי עבודתם ואת כל אשר יעשה לכם, ועבדו על פי אחרון ובניו תהיה כל עבודת בני הגרשוני לכל מסעם ולכל עבודתם, ופקדתם עליכם במשמרת את כל מסעם. זאת עבודת משפחות בני הגרשוני באוכל מועד, ומשמרתם ביד איתמר בן אחרון הכהן.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet b'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Abraham נבראו בך. שלישי
Okay. The third aliyah is verses 29 through 33, and you're on page 792 now.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר ברך בנו מכל העמים נתתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
אמן. בני מררי למשפחותם לבית אבותם תפקוד אותם מבין 30 שנה ומעלה ועד בין 50 שנה תפקדם כל חבליס לסבה לעבוד את עבודת אוכל מועד, וזאת משמרת מסעם לכל עבודתם באוכל מועד, קרשי המשכן ברחב ובעמדיו ואדוניו ועמודי החצר סביב ואדניכם ותדותם ומטריכם לכל כליכם ולכל עבודתם, ובשמת הפיקודיו את כלי משמרת מסעם. זאת עבודת משפחות בני מררי לכל עבודתם באוכל מועד ביד איתמר בן אחרון הכהן.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נתן בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך נותן התורה. אמן.
We're going to pause our Torah reading to say Mishabera for our community. For those who are ill in our community, if you have someone in mind, please rise at this time. Mishabera Chavoteinu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarif Karachel Eliyahu Yivarach v'Yirapeh et hacholim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimele Rachamim Eleihem Lachzikam L'Arfotam V'yishlach Lehem Meira Refuah Shleima Refuat HaNefesh Urefuat HaGuf Hashta Bagalav Izman Kariv and Omar Amen. Wishing them a quick, speedy, and complete healing. Refuah Shleima. You may be seated. And we have a few birthdays to celebrate before we move on to the next Aliyah. These are the full list. Happy birthday to Esther Margulies, Rona Wacht, Ronald Ackerman, Rabbi Deborah Goldman, Teresa Wallenstein, Rose Wenner, Saul Bubis, Cecile Benson, and Jeremy Gersel. Happy birthday. I'm sorry?
Clara has one.
What's that? When's your birthday? And Moritz and Clara Stern. Moritz. Your aunt. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear everyone. Happy birthday to you. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. And this is a big birthday party for you too. Pretty much.
Yamdu,
Emmanuel.
Ben Menashe, Miriam,
Bat Avraham.
Bat Abraham, Rivka, Bat Rachel, Bat Rachel, Revi.
The fourth Aliyah is again on page 792, halfway down the page, verses 34 to 37. Find it. So you can take a kiss
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
אמן. ויפקוד משה ואחרון ונשיאי העדה את בני הכחתי למשפחותם לבית אבותם מבין 30 שנה ומעלה ועד בין 50 שנה כל הבא לצבא לעבודה באוכל מועד ויהיו פקדיכם למשפחותם 2,750 אלה פקודי משפחות הכחתי כל העובד באוכל מועד אשר פקד משה ואחרון על פי אדוני ביד משה.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו מת וחיי עולם אתה בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
יעמדו, שמחה בת שלמה ומרים, אלחנן אלוהים בן שמרה ושמחה, ויוסף משה בן שמרה ושמחה, חמישי.
The fifth Aliyah is verses 38 to 49, so we'll be on 793 soon enough.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
אמן. ופקדי בני גרשון למשפחותם ולבית אבותם מבין 30 שנה ומעלה ועד בין 50 שנה כל הבא לצבא לעבודה באוכל מועד ויחדו פקדיכם למשפחותם לבית אבותם על 2,630 אלה פקודי משפחות בני גרשון, כל העובד באוכל מועד, אשר פקד משה ואחרון, על פי אדוני, ופקודי משפחות בני מררי למשפחותם, לבית אבותם, מבין 30 שנה ומעלה ועד בין 50 שנה, כל הבא לצבא לעבודה באוכל מועד, ויחיו פקודיכם למשפחותם 3,200 אלה פקודי משפחות בני מררי, אשר פקד משה ואחרון, על פי אדוני ביד משה. כל הפקודים אשר פקד משה ואחרון ונשיאי ישראל את הלווים למשפחותם ולבית אבותם מבין 30 שנה ומעלה ועד בין 50 שנה, כל הבא לעבוד ועבודת מסע באוכל מועד, ויחיו פקדיכם 8,580, על פי אדוני פקד אותם ביד משה, איש איש על עבודתו ועל מסעו ופקדיו אשר ציווה אדוני את משה.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי אותם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה. אמן.
Camille and Tristan, please.
Who's coming in?
Camille. Do.
You might hear a little rustling. We'll celebrate this later on, but that noise can add up. Please leave it on your lap until it's time for us to throw it and eat it.
Yes. The sixth aliyah is on page 793, chapter 5, verses 1 through 4. So you'll flip the page. We'll open it. So you guys can kiss it with your talit. So touch your talit to there. And then you'll kiss it.
Baruch et Adonai Hamborah.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborah le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור, סב את בני ישראל וישלחו מן המחנה כל שרוע וכל זב וכל טמא לנפש, מזכר עד נקבה תשלחו, אל מחוץ למחנה תשלחו ולא יטמעו את מחניכם אשר אני שוכן בתוכם, ועשו כן בני ישראל ושלחו אותם אל מחוץ למחנה, כאשר דיבר אדוני אל משה כן עשו בני ישראל.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'kayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
We're going to pause the Torah reading once more because we have a special, new bat mitzvah to call to the Torah. And I want to tell you what's happening so we don't have any misfires or early shots taken. Clara's parents Barbara and Johan are gonna bless Clara. They're going to present, well, their blessings, their feelings for her as she enters into the realm of being a bat mitzvah. She will be called to the Torah. This time, we'll continue. Daphne will keep reading from the Torah. This will be her aliyah. This is the first time she's called to the Torah herself. During the maftir aliyah, she will read from the Torah. That's when we're going to throw the candy. I'll give you the signal if you want. But for now, well, it's a beautiful thing because this week's parsha happens to include the priestly blessing. Yevarechecha, Yishmerecha. And we're going to see a version of that in real time. So if you would like to present she's been wearing her talis because she led us in the Barthu, but it's a beautiful talis, and we'll see a little bit more about where it came from.
Well, Clara, well, we are very honored and happy to be here with you and to have everyone around us to celebrate you becoming a bat mitzvah. And so this talit comes from Jerusalem, actually. So we chose it together. Mm-hmm. She wanted something that would be feminine but not too much, and she loves blue, so here is her talit. And I have a few more words I'd like to say to you today, Clara. As I always say, my Clara, as you are becoming a bat mitzvah today, I want you to know how much I love you and respect you. You are smart, independent, resilient, driven, dependable, and so organized.
Oh, yes.
Everyone knows, I think, who knows her a little bit. You are also generous and caring. I'm convinced you have a lot to offer to the world and want you to know that I will be here to support you. I also hope that Jewish values and the teachings of the Torah can guide you on your journey through life. I'm looking forward to seeing you flourish. Mazel tov, ma Clara, je t'aime.
Mazel tov. So, Clara, I also have a few words to say to you. So, if you indulge me for a moment, I'd like to take a trip down memory lane. It feels like just yesterday when you came into this world, filling our lives with endless joy and short nights. And today, as I stand before you and before you all, I can't help but be filled with a profound sense of pride and love as we celebrate your bat mitzvah. As a father, it's my honor and privilege to witness the incredible young woman you have become. I want you to know that I am immensely proud of you. I think you already know that. Of what you are doing today and of who you are. The amazing person you already are, the woman you are becoming, your strength of character, your caring, protective, and compassionate nature. All of you fills me with joy. Well, I could spend hours talking and speaking highly of you. And even if everything would be true, of course, it could be a little boring. So I'll skip to the important part. I heard my brother say the other day that being wise is not always about being right. And in many ways, it's so true. So don't feel like you have to be right all the time. More seriously, I often think that you are wiser than your years. And today is no exception. At this age, when you are no longer a child, and not yet the adult you will be, you have already shown us again and again how thoughtful you can be, how sensitive you are, and how well you understand diverse point of views, even when you don't initially share the ideas discussed or don't agree with it, let's say. You listen,
you think about it, you reflect on them, and in the process you grow, and how you do it amazes me. At the same time, because of you, and with your sister and brother's help, I am becoming a better person. A profound thank you. Today also has a special meaning because the parasha is Naso. This is the exact same parasha I read when I was your age for my bar mitzvah. Through his story, Jewish culture has thrived on the transmission of customs, beliefs, and principles from parents to their children. This tradition of passing down our heritage has allowed us to maintain a strong sense of identity and unity as a community. Sharing the same parasha from father to daughter symbolizes the continuity of this beautiful chain. Clara, my beautiful daughter, my so smart daughter, today you have planted a seed and started your journey into Jewish adulthood. Your relationship to Judaism will live on. It will evolve during your life. Sometimes you might distance yourself, right? Some other times you will get more involved, and it's just part of life. Today is an important milestone. Being part of the Jewish community is a blessing for life. In this, you have joined your parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, and many generations before you. It carries precious values and brings real meaning. A lot of people fought and died for that right over the centuries, and it's worth being part of it and worth being proud of it. Remember that life is a journey. As you navigate the path ahead, always hold your values close to your heart. Let your light shine brightly in this world, illuminating the lives of those around you. Embrace the challenges that come your way, and you'll have many. For they will only make you stronger, more resilient, and more compassionate. Life might not always be a leisurely stroll, but it's a beautiful one. It has hurdles for some, you already had your share, but also so many moments of joy every day. Cherish them, be in the moment, and enjoy life. A few words as well for you, Barbara. Thank you for bringing Clara into the world, for organizing together this special day, and for always being there for Clara. I also want to thank everyone for being present today, for celebrating with us Clara's bat mitzvah. Friends and family alike, Mathilde, my love. My parents, my brother, my brothers and sisters-in-law, my nephews and cousins coming from Los Angeles, Northern California, surrounding states, but also from Miami and Philadelphia, from France and Israel. I'm so grateful you are here. Thank you. She asked if I was going to say all of that in French, because it's also written in French. I wrote it in French because I wanted to be able to transmit it also in French, but later on, no worries. A last couple of ideas. One other is that I have special thoughts for those who could not make it, and those who unfortunately are no longer with us, such as Clara's grandmother, Agnès, her great-grandparents, Albert, Hélène, Jacques, Jules, Micheline, Mamie Burtin and her husband, and my grandmother Suzanne. They all contributed, they all shaped who we are, directly or indirectly, and we miss them dearly. Clara, never forget that you are surrounded by a loving family and a supportive community that believes in you and will be there for you every step of the way. Today, as we celebrate your bat mitzvah, we affirm our commitment to stand by your side, cheering you on and providing guidance whenever you need it. May this day be the beginning of an extraordinary chapter in your life. As you embark on this new phase, remember that your father and your mother will always be here for you, cheering you on and loving you unconditionally. Mazel Tov.
The priestly blessing. The priestly blessing together.
Okay.
And now Barbara and Johan will bless Clara with the priestly blessing.
Yiraecha Adonai v'yismerecha, Yerech Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
Ken yehi ratzon. Well, we've reached the big moments. Are you ready? Tamod, Tamod, Tamod. Clara bat Avraham v'Dvora, habat mitzvah l'aliyah shvi.
Okay. Ready? The seventh Aliyah is on page 794, verses 5 through 10.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai hamorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el bnei Yisrael ish o isha ki yasu mikol chatot ha'adam lim'or me'al b'Adonai ve'ashma hanefesh hachi vehitvadu et chatotam asher asu vehishiv et ashamo berosho v'chamishto Yosef alav v'natan la'asher asham lo ve'im ein la'ish גואל להשיב האשם עליו האשם המושב לאדוני לכהן מלבד אל הכיפורים אשר כפר בו עליו וכל תרומה לכל קדשי בני ישראל אשר יקריבו לכהן לא יהיה ואיש את קדשיו לא יהיו איש אשר ייתן לכהן לא יהיה.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Mazel tov. We're going to wait for the candy until after she reads from the Torah. Thank you for your restraint.
יעמוד הרב נתן יוסף בן יוסף דוד בתיה.
Chatzi Kaddish.
יתקדע ויתקדש מרבה, ועמד יברך יצא וימליך מלכותי וחייכון ומכון חי דחוף בית ישראל, בעגלה בזמן קריב ומואמן, יהש מרבה מברך עולם. מיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ותאמר וינשא ויתהדל ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה, וילכו לעיניו מכל ברכתה ושורתה, תושבחתה ונחמת האדם רם בעל מה ואמרו אמן.
May be seated.
הרב נתן יוסף בן יוסף דוד בתיה, המפטיר.
The Maftir Aliyah is the same, some of the same verses that we just read. It's going to be on page 795, verses 8 through 10.
Do you see where we are?
I'm not here.
Where are you?
This is not
To find where you are.
Yeah, I got it. Very close. Yep.
Okay, there you go. Baruch hu et Adonai Borach.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
ואם אין לאיש גואל לחשיב האשם אליו האשם המושב לאדוני לכהן מלבד אל הכיפורים אשר יכפר בו עליו, וכל תרומה לכל קודשי בני ישראל, אשר יכפר בו, אשר יקריבו לכהן לא יחיה, ואיש את קודשיו לא יחיו. איש אשר ייתן לכהן לא יחיה.
Just a second.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Just a second.
I need to
Just going to cover the Torah.
Now, stand in front.
No, come
Mazel tov, mazel tov, singing tov, singing tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, singing tov, singing tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, singing tov. Yehelanu, 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 ulecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, yehelanu, ulecho come get the candy. If you would like to eat the candy and you want to help us clean up the bima, now's your time.
Come get the candy. An important Jewish ritual. Come get the candy. Do you want anything? Clara, do you want anything?
I told Mike to get this up. Who did that?
The white shirt. Pass the guy. Right there. Just behind you.
Do you need any help with anything else?
I think we're good.
יעמדו פיליפ וג'רמי ומייקל. פיליפ המגביה וג'רמי מייקל הגלילה. You. Thank you.
Please rise for the lifting and wrapping of the Sefer Torah. Let me get this out of your way. Vezot HaTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai v'yad Moshe. Torah et chaim hi l'machazikim ba betom che'el me'ushar. Et chaim hi, you may be seated, l'machazikim ba betom che'el me'ushar. Deracheha darchei noam v'chol netivoteh shalom. Deracheha darchei noam v'chol netivoteh shalom. Ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la. And you may be seated. Once the Torah stops moving, you can take a seat. Today's Haftarah begins with Judges chapter 13, verse 2, and can be found in the Eitz Chaim on page 813. Let me turn there myself. This Haftarah is about Samson and his birth and his origin story, and how his parents agreed with an angel, conceded with an angel, to make him into a Nazir. This is somebody who, among other restrictions, refrains from grape products, refrains from cutting his hair. And though the laws of the Nazir are detailed actually in this week's Parsha, which is the connection with the Haftarah, Samson is the only named Nazir in all of Tanakh, as far as I've seen. The only Nazir who has a name, which indicates that this was not a very common phenomenon. He actually didn't have a choice in the matter. This was part of the angel's agreement with his parents for him being born. But he eventually grows into his position, he embraces it, and uses the power that he gets from being a Nazir to defeat the Philistines, which goes to show that often our parents dictate a lot of who we are. They set us on a path and ideally provide us the tools to succeed. It's important to trust them, that they have our best in mind. However, it is ultimately our decision, once we're experienced enough to make these decisions, to take the tools that we've received from our parents and become who we are meant to become. Judges chapter 13, verse 2, page 813. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'neviim tovim v'ratza b'divreihem hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai abocher b'Torah u'v'Moshe avdo u'v'Yisrael amo u'v'nviei ha'emet v'atzedek. Vayehi ish echad mitzarah mimishpachat Adani ushmo Manoach v'ishto Clara v'lo yalada vayera malach Adonai el ha'isha vayomer eleha hine na'at Clara v'lo yaladet v'harit Ve'aladet behen, ve'ata hishamri na, ve'al tishti yain ve'shechar, ve'al tochli kol tameh, ki hinachara ve'oladet behen, umora lo yale al rosho ki nazir Elohim, yeh hana'ar min habaten vehu yachel lo shia et Yisrael miyad plishtim. V'tavo ha'isha v'atomer le'isha lemor ish ha'elohim ba'elai umarehu kimareh malach ha'elohim nora me'od velo she'iltihu et emizehu v'et shemo lo higid lihi vayomer lihi hinachara ve'oladet behen ve'ata al tishti yain ve'shechar ve'al tochli kol tum'ah ki nazir Elohim yeh hana'ar min ha'beten ad yom motoho vayetar manoach el Adonai vayomar bi Adonai Ish ha'Elohim asher shalachta yavona od eleinu ve'oreinu ma'naseh lenar hayulad vayishma ha'Elohim bekol Manoach vayavo malach ha'Elohim od el ha'isha Vehi yoshevet basadeh u'manoach isha enimaha vatmaher ha'isha v'tarat v'taged le'isha v'tomer elav hine nira elai ha'ish asher ba vayom elai vayahakam vayelech manoach acharei ishto vayavo el ha'ish vayomer lo ha'ata ha'ish asher dibarta el ha'isha vayomer anihi ויאמר מנוח אתה יבוא דברך מה יהיה משפט הנער ומעשהו ויאמר מלאך אדוני אל מנוח מכל אשר אמרתי אל האישה תשמר מכל אשר יצא מגפן היין לא תאכל ויין ושיכר אל תשת וכל טומאה אל תאכל כל אשר ציוויתיה תשמור ויאמר מנוח אל מלאך אדוני נעצרה נא אותך ונעשה לפניך גדי עזים ויאמר מלאך אדוני אל מנוח אם תעצרני לא אוכל בלחמך ואם תעשה עולה לאדוני תעלנה כי לא ידע מנוח כי מלאך אדוני הוא ויאמר מנוח אל מלאך אדוני משמך כי יבוא דברך וכיבדנוך ויאמר לו מלאך אדוני למה זה תשאלי שמי והוא פלאי ויקח מנוח את גדי העזים ואת המנחה ויעל על הצור לאדוני ומפליא לעשות ומנוח ואשתו רואים ויהי ועלות הלהב מעל המזבח השמיימה ויעל מלאך אדוני בלהב המזבח ומנוח ואשתו רואים ויפלו על פניהם ארצה ולא יסף עוד מלאך אדוני להראות אל מנוח ואל אשתו אז ידע מנוח כי מלאך אדוני הוא ויאמר מנוח אל אשתו מות נמוץ כי אלוהים ראינו ותאמר לו אשתו לו חפץ אדוני להמיתנו לא לקח מידינו עולה ומנחה ולא הראנו את כל אלה וכעת לא השמיענו כזאת ותלד האישה בן ותקרא את שמו שמשון ויגדל הנער ויברכהו אדוני ותחל רוח אדוני לפעמו במחנה דן בין שרה ובין אשתאול ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם צור כל העולמים צדיק בכל דורות האל הנאמן האומר ועושה המדבר ומקיים שכל דבריו אמת וצדק נאמן אתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו ונאמנים דבריך ודבר אחד מדבריך חור לא ישוב ריקם כי אל מלך נאמן ורחמן אתה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הנאמן בכל דבריו רחם על ציון כי בית חיינו ולעלובת נפש תושיע במהרה בימינו ברוך אתה אדוני משמח ציון בבניה שמחנו אדוני אלוהינו באליהו הנביא עבדך ובמלכות בית דוד משיחך במהרה יבוא ויגל ליבנו על כיסאו לא ישב זר ולא ינחלו עוד אחרים את כבודו כי בשם קודשך נשבעת לו שלא יכבה נרו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני מגן דוד על התורה ועל העבודה ועל הנביאים ועל יום השבת הזה שנתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו לקדושה ולמנוחה לכבוד ולתפארת על הכל אדוני אלוהינו אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך יתברך שמך בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת We will continue in our service with a prayer for our country. I'd like now to call up Caroline. We will be on page 415. Caroline will read the first paragraph. As a congregation, we'll recite the second, and she'll finish us off on the third. Page 415. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Our God and God of our ancestors, we ask your blessing for our country, for its government, for its leader and advisors, and for all who exercise just and right authority. Teach them insights of your Torah, that they may administer all affairs of state fairly, that peace, security, happiness, and prosperity, justice, and freedom may forever abide in our midst.
Through all flesh, bless all the inhabitants of our country with your spirit. May citizens of all races and creeds forge a common bond in true harmony, to banish all hatred and bigotry, and to safeguard the ideals and free institutions which are the pride and glory of our country.
May this land under your providence be an influence for good throughout the world, uniting all people in peace and freedom and helping them to fulfill the vision of your prophet.
Nation shall not lift up sword against nation.
Neither shall they experience any war. And let us say amen.
I'd like now to call up Daniel to read the prayer for the state of Israel. Turn the page.
אבינו שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו, ברא את מדינת ישראל, לעשות צמיחת גאולתנו, הגן עליה בעברת חסרך ופרוס עליה שבת שלומך ושלח אורך ובתך ועד שירה ויוצרך ותכנס בארצות טובה מלפניך, חזק את ידי מגידי הארץ כשרים והנחלים אלוהינו ישובון ואמרת ניצחון תפרס ונתן שלום בארץ ושמחת עולם להשביה ונאמר
Amen. And also on page 417, a prayer for peace. I'd like to call up Rachel to read it. We will alternate the reading. The congregation will read the italics. Rachel will read what's not italicized.
May we see the day when war and bloodshed cease, when a great peace will embrace the whole world.
The nation will not threaten nation, humankind will not again know war.
For all who live on earth shall realize we have not come into being to hate or to destroy.
We have come into being to praise, to labor, and to love.
Compassionate God, bless the leaders of all nations with the power of compassion.
Fulfill the promise conveyed in Scripture.
I will bring peace to the land, and you shall lie down, and no one shall terrify you.
I will rid the land of vicious beasts, and it shall not be ravaged by war.
Let love and justice flow like a mighty stream.
Let peace fill the earth as the waters fill the sea.
And let us say, Amen.
You may be seated. We're on page 420, Ashrei. Ashrei shevetecha od yalu chasela. Hashem shekach Tilat Adonai deber piv yirecho basar shem kocho le'olam va'ed v'anachnu nevarech ya me'ata ve'ad olam. Hallelujah. We rise for the returning of the Sefer Torah. Yeah.
Hallelujah Shem Adonai Ki nizkar Shemo levanon Odo Ha'eretz
You may be seated. We're at the point of the service between Shachrit and the Torah reading where, we have Musaf next. And that's why we usually hear words of Torah right now, to differentiate between Shachrit and Torah service from the additional Musaf because it's Shabbat. And this time we get to learn Torah from somebody else. So thank you for saving me a little bit of time. And I'd like now to call out the Bat Mitzvah, Clara Stern, to share a few words of Torah. The floor is yours.
I wanted to tell you about my pen pal experience with Milana Bangasha, who arrived in Los Angeles 2 days ago. Milana is an extremely cool 15-year-old Ukrainian refugee who first left for Austria with her mother and father when the war started. That is when she lost her home and most of what she has known all her life. She and I text every few days, mostly about how we've been. We share little things about ourselves and our family and friends, our fun experiences, and whatever else comes to mind. I decided to do this because I felt like this experience would help me grow as a person, and I wanted to make a new friend. I wanted to make a friend, but also be able to learn things about people and cultures I didn't really know about. From this experience, I learned that Milana is a cool person with her own personality. This may seem obvious, but it isn't to a lot of people. We tend to categorize people. She is a 15-year-old Ukrainian refugee. It seems like many people think that is all there is to her. We have to categorize things like fruits and vegetables, so we know what we're buying. Categorizing things keeps us organized, but categorizing people is much more complicated. Ashkenazi Jews are more than their ethnicity or religion. I am more than a 12-year-old student. Rabbi Lefkowitz is more than a rabbi. My tata Mimi is more than an aunt. Well, maybe not. My point is, Milana is more than a 15-year-old refugee. She's a cool person with her own personality and dreams. This takes me to the book Refugee by Alan Gratz. Just a warning, it has been a while since I've read it, so may not be the best of fiction. The book Refugee reveals the stories of 3 child refugees. The first being the story of a Jewish child, Joseph, who escapes Germany on a huge boat, the St. Louis, with his dad, mom, and sister during World War II. Unfortunately, the boat is not allowed to dock, and Joseph's father jumps overboard. A Cuban officer saves his life temporarily, but the St. Louis is never allowed to dock. The ship ends up in France where the Nazis capture Joseph and his family. The second is about a girl named Isabel from Cuba who leaves her home with her family and a friend's family for the USA in 1994. They face many challenges on their journey, and her friend dies on the way. They end up making it to Miami, where Isabel begins school. Last but not least, the story of Mohammed, who has to leave Syria in 2015 with his family because of war. He and his family travel throughout Europe trying to find a new home and wind up in Berlin, where they are finally accepted. Every story is connected. Isabel's grandfather was the officer who had spoken to Joseph and saved his father's life on the St. Louis. Isabel's grandfather and Joseph simply spoke about the incident, and Isabel's grandfather gave him his condolences. Joseph's sister is the one who accepts Muhammad's family when Muhammad and his family finally arrive in Germany. She wants to help them with their situation. Now, I don't want to spoil the book, so I'm going to stop here. But I just wanted to explain why I brought it up today. Refugee is about survival and courage from the point of view of the refugees, for sure, but it is also about their humanity. I mentioned before how categorizing people can be helpful when the categorizing allows us to see patterns which we can use to help people. For example, we know that Tay-Sachs disease is more common in Ashkenazi Jews. We use this information to help prevent people from getting it. We categorize people for genetic diseases to find patterns, but also with age, where we are from, or academic leveling, which we can use to help. Refugee status does not discriminate. Anyone in a bad situation can become a refugee, and our categorizations of people, Jewish, Muslim, Cuban, don't capture all there is about them. It is not right to define people by their refuge, ethnic, or racial categorization, but it is important to use their categories to help them when they are in need. In this week's Parashat Naso, we learn of the Nazarites who dedicated themselves to God. They don't cut their hair, eat, or drink any grape product. If people see someone who has never cut their hair, they might discriminate against that person and think that is weird. The Torah teaches us that people make their own choices by giving us examples like Nazarites, who don't ever cut their hair or drink wine. Unlike refugees, whose situation makes them look and act a certain way, the Nazarites have their reasons for why they look and act the way they do. They categorize themselves to say what matters to them. They refrain from haircuts and grape products in an attempt to lead a life dedicated to God. I categorize myself as a 12-year-old American, French, Jewish, human person, granddaughter, daughter, goddaughter, sister, teenager, cousin, niece, friend, student, pen pal, short brown hair, claustrophobic, cathophobic, average height girl who lives in Los Angeles, goes to Lycée Français de Los Angeles for school, who prefers soccer as a sport rather than American football, someone who likes cooking and art and writing. This shows who I am as a human being, but also how I stand out from the people around me. I categorize myself unintentionally, but I know people will categorize me all the time. At the end of today's morning services, I wanted to share this message. Apart from hurting others, people should be whoever they want to be. Let them tell us their stories, opposed to us describing them without getting to know them. Now, thank you, Mama and Papa, for being there for me for nearly 13 years while I grew as a person, for showing your love towards me. Thank you, Rabbi Lefkowitz, Cantor Dale, and Jacob for helping me get ready for today and for being up here with me up on the bima. And to Rabbi Feibel for helping me learn the skills. Thank you, Julia and Eliel, for not bothering me too much as I wrote this. Well, let's just say that. Thank you, Papi and Mamie, for calling often to say hi, taking care of us when we go to Israel and Miami, and making me delicious food. Merci, Papi et Mamie, de nous avoir appelés souvent, de s'occuper de nous quand on est en Israël ou à Miami, et de nous faire de choses délicieuses à manger. A thank you as well to Chloe for helping me write this, even though you could not be here today, but you are on Zoom. And finally, thank you to everyone here today or on Zoom, to my family from Israel, Miami, and France, my friends, my teachers, and everyone who helped me be here today.
You're not done yet. Almost. Well, you've reached your point of being a bat mitzvah, which you did by just the passage of time, but that would have been the bare minimum. And you don't do the bare minimum. You worked for this. You went above and beyond. And this, what I'm about to say, isn't the sermon slot. We've learned our Torah from Clara. But I want to share a few words as a charge to capture what you've done, who you are now, and to maybe push you in the right direction, pointing out the path that I think that your parents have already laid for you. But I want to, like you said, we're supposed to be ourselves. I communicate through Torah. So that's what I'm going to try to do. We already know you're strong-willed, you're smart, you're funny, clearly.
Not too much.
I just want to point out that the drosh was hers. We had our conversations, and I recorded the notes, but this was Clara's turn entirely. I did a little bit of grammar suggestions. Tweaking. But y'all may not know this. Clara is a leader. And I don't say that about everybody. Because in the religious school, the parents and I would have our own little class in the room next to the kitchen. And when Clara wasn't satisfied with the snacks that we put out, she would lead the class, lead her friends into the kitchen, look at me and say, "Don't tell anyone," as if I'm not the person that should not know. And then she knew exactly where to find the ice cream or cookies or whatever, the better snacks. Yeah. You knew what you wanted, and you knew how to get the snacks. But you're also more self-aware than you give yourself credit for. You're emotionally intelligent. One of our earlier sessions together, it was about 5:15 p.m. after a long day of school, long day of work, and she said to me, "I'm not normally this annoying. I can usually keep on task." Well, I didn't find it annoying, and I can't keep on task at 5:15 p.m. after a long day of work. But you were able to recognize that you're a different person when you're tired, when you're stressed, than you are at the beginning of the day. You're self-aware. You know what's going on. And that's a skill that will help you well into the future. You desire to see good in people, as indicated by your sermon, by your drash. You want people to be who they are without telling them who they should be. So with that, I would like to bring up the priestly blessing that your parents said to you and provide a little bit of a couple of the traditional commentaries on top. So the words, Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may God keep you, may God bless you and keep you or protect you. Now, if I just say that, may God bless you and protect you, at first thought, it's like, all right, this is obvious, we know what it means. But then you start thinking about it. What does it mean to be blessed by God? What does it mean to be protected by God? So Sforno comes out and says, it's as basic and simple as can be. May God bless you with wealth, material possessions that allow you to live your life in a little bit of comfort, maybe a little bit of luxury. And may God protect you from harm. And that's how Sforno sees it. But the Netziv, who comes out a couple centuries later, adds a twist. He notes that Yevarechecha, or Yevarechech, is it's individual. It's you. And we each have our own personalities. We each have our own unique goals. And what the Netziv says is, if you're a Torah scholar, may you be blessed with the ability to study Torah, with a plethora of students, a bunch of students and teachers who can teach you and learn from you, and that your Torah insights will be smart. If you're a business person, that your business will thrive. If you like history, that you have an opportunity to study history and maybe go to the sites that you've learned about. It's individual. And that protection, may God protect you from your blessings. We all know religious leaders who almost become slaves to the religion as opposed to people or God, where it corrupts them, where money, a business person's pursuit of money becomes their entire life, where their gift of money, of wealth, corrupts them. So, Clara, may you be who you're supposed to be. You're at the stage in your life where your parents and your family has raised you, and they're presenting you to the world. And right now you're in the teenage world where you're trying to figure out who is your family, who is your maybe additional family, the friends and the clique that you're trying to find. May you be who you are. But the blessing can also be a curse. So may God protect you, protect your individuality, and protect your relationships with those who brought you to this day. We have a few presents, and I'd like now to call up Past President Janet Schulman. Where are you, Janet? Come on up, Janet, to deliver a few presents. This is one of the perks of having a bat mitzvah celebration.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's a perk.
It is a perk.
Better than Amazon. Where are they? Where are you, gorgeous? I'm Janet, and I have some wonderful presents for this blooming young leader. I learned a lot about you today, Clara. You are obviously a superstar, and I'm very honored to give you these gifts on behalf of the Women's League and the synagogue. These are from our very own Women's League, a very important part of the synagogue.
I've seen them outside, yeah.
You have? Good. Great. And this is a bat mitzvah, to certify that you were called to the Torah as a bat mitzvah on Shabbat, Parshat Naso 14, the year 5783. And it corresponds to today, June 3rd, 2023, at Adat Shalom. Signed by our president and our rabbi. Mazel tov.
Thank
you. You are fabulous.
Thank you.
And we also
you can actually have the bag, which is even better.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I actually have a few of these at home already.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
We all do, Clara.
We have an additional gift for you. We have an additional gift for you. You talked about your love of history, of learning. Well, I know somebody pretty well. My dad writes Jewish historical fiction, for people your age. And I have 2 of his books. One that'll teach you through the eyes of somebody about your age, the story of the revolt from Rome. And the second that'll teach you also through somebody about your age, the story of medieval Jewry, the Ashkenazi, Sephardi, how people interacted. So hope you enjoy. It was a pleasure to study with you, and you should be very, very proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Do you want me to get that out of your way? All right. Great. We will continue in our service with Chatzi Kaddish on page 428, followed by the Musaf Amidah, page 430. And please rise.
Emuna אדוני מחיי המתים. המקדישים שמך בקודש, ככתוב על יד למיך, ואז אל זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלוך הארץ כבודו. שואלים זה לזה, הימקום כבודו. אתה ברוך לבנו, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hu Eloheinu, Hu Avinu, Hu Malkeinu, Moshiach Vehu Yashmiel Be'ach Nafsheni. Adonai Elohechem, ובדברי קודשך, ובדברי קודשך, כתוב לאמור, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון לדור ודור, הללויה.
Please join me on page 440, the text in which we ask that God help us guard our mouth and the words that we speak when we are not using our words to express these texts that we've just expressed in the Amidah. Let me be careful with how I speak. Middle of page 440. Elohai netzor l'shon yimera. Elohai netzor l'shon yimera. B'sfatai v'taber b'irma. V'le'nala nafshi gido. V'nashik yavad l'koti Elohai. Elohai netzor l'shon 506, Kadisha Lemikdad, Ikedash Meraba, Rama Divrak Yutevi, Mufakute Bechaichon, of Yamechon of Bechaitko, Bishab Lavisman Kavivim, Meru.
Amen.
Yehish Meraba Mevach, Leolam Ulam Eomaya. Yitbarak v'shvat v'yitpar v'yitmar v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitlei v'yitelash medikudisha v'yichul le'ela mikol bechata v'shirata tushbechat v'nechamat dami ram b'yomah v'yimeru Amen t'kabat roton v'roton d'cha yisrak alam v'v'hom d'vishmai v'yimru Amen yehi shlam araba mishamai v'chayim alenu v'yakol Yisrael v'yimru Amen osei shalom v'yimru mavu yasei shalom alenu v'yakol Yisrael Amen.
If anybody wants to come help lead in Kelohenu, friends, cousins.
Yeah, friends,
Yeah,
cousins,
come on
siblings. Friends, cousins, siblings.
Friends, cousins, country.
Romans.
Yeah.
Any Romans?
There you go. You got some more.
We got people from Miami, Israel. Where else? France. And no Romans? Of course, I guess the Romans were in France for a while. Come on, if you want to join us for In Kelohenu.
I'm going to put this under next to you.
Please do. All right, here we go.
If you want to stand on this.
Ah, yes.
Be a little bit.
Yeah.
Go on, Elio. This works too, but if, you have a microphone. All right. Hey!
There we go. All right.
Page 508.
Are you ready? Eliel had his 3rd birthday haircut here on this bima.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, his upshirt was here.
That's cool.
That was you. It grew back, but this is where this is where he had it.
Page for Alinu.
Face this way. כי המלכות שלך, כתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
For a sec. We're going to do Mourner Scottish and then you finish Adon Olam. Great. In addition to Clara's special day, we dedicate this service to Abraham Lindenbaum, Cecil Gordon, Ethel Levin, Harry Bubis, Irving Wexler, Max Rosemarin, Regina Brooke, Zev Ginsburg. If you are in mourning or observing a yard site, please join me on page 512 Kadish Yatom. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ve'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael b'agala uv'izman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah m'orach le'olam olomei maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei kudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Today. I'd like now to call Janet back up to give today's announcements, and if y'all want to just hang out, you take a seat up here. There you go.
Do you want to stand on the stool?
No.
You look so big.
I already look too big. Okay. Chag Sameach and Shabbat Shalom. I'm Janet Shulman. Welcome to Adat Shalom to all of you who are new and joining the family and seeing our shul for the first time. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so glad to see you. I want to do a Todah Rabbah to Rabbi Kevin Lefkowitz and to Cantor Dale Schatz for leading such a beautiful service. Thank you both. Mazel tov to Clara, buried under the children here. Clara, in addition to teaching us about how to be more open-minded, which you did today, you reminded us again, and for seeing people for who they are, we want to thank you for calling us to prayer, for leading us in the Shema and the Torah service, and reading from the Torah. It was really, really special to celebrate with you today. And I also want to say you and your brother and sister and your mom and the family are just a very, very important part of our shul. You're strong, you're wonderful, and you bring joy and compassion and love to all of us. Thank you very much. Thank you. I want to thank Daphna Suzomi, I hope I pronounced that right, ouch, for reading Torah, and Rabbi Lefkowitz for reading Haftorah. Thank you to our Gabayim, Jamie Knoll and Jacob Schatz, and our Shamus, Jamie Knoll. Thank you, Barbara Burton and Johan Stern, for sponsoring Kiddush today in honor of their daughter Clara becoming a bat mitzvah. Woo. Oh, yeah. More candy. Oh, no, sorry. I tried, Clara. Our gala is very soon, June 11th at 5:30. Some of our honorees are in this very room with us. So if you forgot to sign up. There's still a little bit of time, I think.
And Janet Shulman, who is the primary honoree? All right. Leave that go for now.
Leave it go. Let it go. As they say in Frozen. We are looking forward, really, it's going to be a beautiful night. We had a wonderful committee planning it. It's going to be a lot of music and entertainers and great food and all kinds of stuff. So we're looking forward to that celebration. Our book club meets next on June 6th. We're reading The Thread Collectors by Shauna Edwards and Allison Richmond. We're doing both in-person and Zoom, and call the office to get Natalie Stenger's email if you don't have it, to let her know that you'll be there so she can get you on Zoom. June 12th is the next Ladies' Lounge, and I think we're meeting in a restaurant this time. For more information, contact Karen Michelle or Sharon Atlas Stein, and again, their information's in the office. June 17th at 9:30 is our graduation Shabbat. All of our religious school grads, the parents, the grandparents, or the graduates to join us for celebration of their accomplishment. Kiddush sponsorships are still available. June 23rd at 6:30, we're having a Kabbalah Shabbat community dinner, and they're always wonderful. If it's warm enough, it may be out in the courtyard, we're not sure, but they're wonderful, wonderful Kabbalah Shabbats. Back in the back there is a tree of life to celebrate what wonderful is going on in your life, a graduation, a wedding, a celebration, a mazel tov. The plaques, you can call the office to find out more information. And as Clara talked about today, we have a Ukrainian refugee support program. The Boganja family has arrived. They're here. We've been working with them now for quite a while. Sandy Hellman is the leader of that committee. And we've collected a lot of money to house them for 6 months. We're doing it as a partnership with Temple Akiba. So it's a terrific family, and we've collected money and items, and we still need some items. There's a sign-up genius on the website, Sandy. On the website is a sign-up genius. And volunteers are still needed to provide rides to the family. They need a lot, and they also give a lot. They're really terrific. So Sandy's right there if you want to see her after. She'll be carrying a little umbrella like a no.
A Ukrainian flag.
A Ukrainian flag. Everything I talked about is available information on our website. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. Kiddush and motzi, and a wonderful lunch following the services in the other room. We conclude on page 514 with a note along. It looks like a full team.
You pick the melody and the key. I'll find you. Come. Okay. Good, good. And what's the melody that y'all like? Adon Olam Hashem Alach. Do you know that? Which one? Okay, how about this one? Adon Olam Hashem Alach B'terem Kol. Do you know this? Yetzir Nivra Azai melech shemo b'kol Yachamei kichlot hakol levado yimlot noha v'hu haya v'hu hoveh v'hu yeh b'tifara Azana Shimoni Kaba You want to stop there, or do you want to do 5 more verses? Oh, we're going to stop there. Yeah.
We'll see you in the other room. Mazel tov.
Shabbat shalom. 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 Hey, Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.